So, we'll look at one more. And that is, servants, concentrate. That's not the end of the sentence, but you can look at my notes afterwards. Servants, concentrate on their responsibilities, not on others. Alright? Let me repeat that so you might have missed it. Servants, concentrate on their responsibilities, not on the responsibilities of others. What do we read in Romans chapter 14? It says, "Why dost thou judge thy brother, or why dost thou set at naught thy brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Christ. For it is written, As I live, saith the Lord, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to God. So then every one of us shall give an account of himself. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this brother." Now, I am not someone who's foolish enough to say that that means we should never judge anybody. Alright? That's a big mistake. Because God makes it very clear that there are certain things we are to make judgments about. So I'm not pushing that road. But it is very true that we can change from being a servant and having a servant's mind to becoming the judge and having a judge's mind. And that's when the troubles and the bitterness come. If you turn over to Luke chapter 10, a very familiar passage, and I'm going to read it and then I'm just going to draw some comparisons here. In Luke chapter 10, it says there, in verse 38, "Now it came to pass, as they went, that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his word. But Martha was cumbered about with much" what? Serving. "And came to him and said, Lord, dost thou not care that my sister hath left me to" what? "Serve alone. Bid her therefore that she help me." Jesus answered and said unto her, "Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things. But one thing is needed, and Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her." Now, if there's a picture of a typical Christian worker, this is it. We see Martha had all the actions of a wonderful servant. In fact, I don't think you can get a better picture. She was serving literally the Lord Jesus Christ and his disciples. And she was busy making sure that everything was just perfect for her master, the Lord Jesus Christ. But in the huff and whatever else you say with that line, but as she's running around frantically serving the Lord, what's going on the inside? Is she thinking like a servant? What a blessing to serve my Saviour. Now, while she's rushing around serving, she's thinking about her sister. And she's looking at her sister. And she's busy, and how come she gets to sit there and just do nothing while I'm busy running around in the kitchen and flat out? Why do I have to serve alone? And so although this lady had the actions of a servant, she certainly didn't have the mind of a servant. And what she started to do was compare herself to her sister. Here I am, I'm serving so hard, and what is she doing? She's just sitting there doing nothing. And once she started to compare, all right? Make judgments. That's when she lost her servant's heart, if she had it at the beginning. And it brought about a huge effect about her attitude towards service. You know, we get from here that she was definitely angry with Mary, wasn't she? She was angry with Mary because Mary wasn't doing what she thought she should be doing. Martha, in all of her wisdom, was convinced that she should be in this kitchen serving and doing exactly what she was doing. She was convinced about that. And because Mary wasn't doing that, Martha got angry with her. Does that sound like somebody else? Could it actually sound like you? I am just flat out here doing so many things in this church, and look at Mr. Lazy Bones over there just doing nothing. And you start to get angry. You've lost a servant's heart when that happens. Also, we see that she got jealous. She was thinking to herself, how come she gets to sit down and listen to Jesus, and I get stuck here in the kitchen and have to run around and do everything for things? She's just got it easy. And she starts to get jealous. I'm sure that at first, she thought this was a wonderful privilege. And she's jealous that she can't do what her sister's doing. And you know, we get like that once we start comparing ourselves with others. And I often think of how missionaries, particularly missionaries, and you could probably tell me better, but particularly those that come from third world countries, you know, those are stuck in a little valley somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and they see no one, and they just got to eat rice. And they come back to Australia, and they see our big TVs, Pastor Davies, and see what we get to do and the life that we live. And I guarantee that sometimes I start to get jealous. God, how come I have to be doing this and these guys get it so easy? Jealousy. Once we start to compare ourselves as servants, it's very easy to get jealous, isn't it? We also see that she was discontented with her job. You know, she probably thought at first, oh, Jesus is coming to my house. No one else gets this privilege in Bethany. Oh, he's coming to my house. I'm going to make it so special. At first, I'm sure she thought this was going to be something great. Then she sees her sister. And she's just sitting there, doing nothing. And all of a sudden, she thinks, you know, I could do a better job. You know, I could actually be doing something better than this. All of a sudden, this prized opportunity to serve doesn't seem that good. You know, I can remember when I was ordained, or made the assistant pastor first, and then the associate later on. I can still remember the day after the church voted me to be the pastor. There was this, like, I'm not saying it literally, but this glow about not so much of God sort of, you know, I wish he had. But the thrill, the honour that I've been considered in those ranks, you know, that is a privilege. It's never underestimated. And that has stayed with me. It still is. You know, I feel odd when people call me Pastor Steve. But I got to tell you, despite how great an honour that is, you sometimes see what other people get to do, how easy their life is, or what other opportunities they have, and you start to think, right, this pastoring, why do I have to be the pastor? You know? Why can't I do something else?